Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Let's Play Kingdom Hearts 2. This is episode number 40, and we are approaching here the end of the game. There is a lot of exciting stuff going on in this episode. It is a bit on the lengthier side. I will give that as a shout out right from the beginning of the episode, but there is a ton of exciting stuff going on. So here we got Ansem the Wise and King Mickey going up, and he is setting up his experiment to pull out the hearts in Kingdom Hearts into a data form. That is essentially, long story short, what is going on here, and he's going to attempt to be doing that. Yeah, he's trying to repent for all the bad things he's done throughout the series, I guess is the short way to put it. But he's done some pretty horrific stuff. I do like that the whole series is kind of based on repairing what people have done. So honestly, I do forgive him for what's going on here, but it is kind of interesting. But I talked to Kairi here, and I talked to... let's go get this puzzle piece. Puzzle piece. Dora, Dora, Dora the Explorer. Let's talk to Riku. Nope. Let's go through our first true organizational battle here at the end of the game.
What's that? It's the King and Diz.
And of course, they're going to separate the main cast from us.
They must be higher up.
That is what they want to do in these Let's Plays, so that way we are separated from anybody who could be helpful. We'll get to fight with Donald and Goofy after this, but of course they want to limit the amount of time with Riku and Kairi, because of course they do. But here we go. We actually have to go up against Luxord. His whole battle is really like gimmicky stuff. That's not to say that I don't enjoy it. I use gimmicky very lightly there. These are pretty good battles. It sort of relies on our forms and things like that. So it's really set on a timer for Sora versus Luxord here. The amount we damage Luxord is going to drive down his timer significantly. And then Luxord will continuously try to play games with us throughout this. So as much as we win the games, we'll do better timer-wise. I think it's a very fair fight, and it's very interesting compared to the rest of the organizational members. So this initial one, we just need to knock him out of the card, and then we get some free combos. Very nice. I'm not used to him at all, so this could be a bit confusing, but there we go. I end up getting him out pretty easy. He's never like a severe hazard towards myself. Saw his card go down last. It went over this way, I think. There he is. I just saw him. Yep, there we go. Get to whack him out of here. I think we're actually getting like some pretty good RNG logic, because I'm getting to do a lot more damage than I would expect to do against him normally. And I'm not even like really trying to play his bullshit card games. I'm just kind of throwing them back in his face. So that's always very nice that like even when I'm taking the low road, I'm doing very well. And I think with Luxord, really the trick is just hit him as much as humanly possible, and then play his card games when he forces you to do so. Like if he's not forcing you into the interaction, just continuously smack him. Because here's his end game. I still don't know how to do this. Obviously here you could jump out of the way and completely dodge all his attacks, which is like his desperation move, which you'll be fine with. But then he calls into this one, and I think you need to hit him on all O's, but I try to hit the first one on an O, and I turn back into a dice. So I don't know what the deal is here. Maybe I just missed it by like a millisecond. Maybe I am just not good enough for Luxord, but I don't... It seems kind of foolish that I'm gonna extinguish all these cards using the command deck, and then just knock Luxord out, pretty much, is the goal here. Because I don't know if I misunderstood, but it just seems like a really bizarre one to me. I really like his fight because it is unique compared to the rest of them. I can't just beat him. I have to do a whole bunch of things in between, and it dives into his character and dynamic a little bit. I think he is a cool character, but it's just oddly bizarre as to how it's laid out. And of course, all the organizational members from this point on are going to call him Roxas to kind of cause a little bit of tension there. And then all of our characters are brought back to us.
You okay? Yeah, no worries.
Very nice. We're able to proceed. There we go, get the secret ransom report. Here we go, we got another one. I'm just gonna go straight into it. I don't fear Sayax at all, if I'm gonna be honest. I understand how he works to a T. I struggled here for a long time as a kid, so I get it. It's not going to cause any problems for myself. So let's just streamroll through it.
That's really getting old.
Sora's getting a little ticked off that everybody's calling him Roxas. I understand, Sora, but you don't. He's gonna turn it. He's like, "Repair! I'm like Darth Maul, bitch. What are you gonna do?" Honestly, he's pretty easy to deal with, and of course it blows Riku and Kairi out of here, so we can't use them. Plot stuff, it's stupid. I get it, but it is what it is. And Sayax actually isn't that bad. You have to avoid him in these initial strikes. That's like the key. And then he leaves down like berserks that we can use, which were used in some of the other Heartless or some of the other nobodies that we saw. And then once you use them, you knock him out of those commands, and then you can just kind of pummel him. I guess sometimes he retaliates, sometimes he doesn't. I don't know. He's really complex because he has a lot of moving parts that could make him difficult, but I never really feel challenged battling him. Like, I get it, he's supposed to be one of the stronger organizational members, but he never presents himself in that way. Like, at this point, we are halfway through his whole health. Like, it's really odd to me how, like, he presents himself. He is number 2, right? He's not number 2. He's number 3 in the organization. And it's like, well, that's cool, but, like, he never actually poses a threat to myself, like, ever. If anything, I'd say he's one of the easier organizational members to just completely annihilate. I mean, look at his health, like, how much it's diminishing. And he hasn't done anything to us. Now, in his final stance, he is definitely going to do some damage here. But it's only because I'm not really paying attention, because the whole 7/8 of his boss fight was a joke to me. So, like, that's the only reason he's, like, holding up here, is, like, he was a joke throughout most of it, and now he isn't. With my drive form slightly leveled up, I'm able to completely diminish anything he can bring worth of value to this. I'm just trying to find the right opportunity to smack him. Like, I'm getting my triangle commands completely out of whack, and that's the only thing that lets him live longer than he should. And then there you go. Yeah, he's done. So, in 10 minutes, we defeated 2 of the most prominent characters in the series. It's odd. What does he rebuttal with? He drops his weapon. He's been defeated. I think he's going to go and plead to Kingdom Hearts one more time. You're like, Kingdom Hearts, lend me your power. Please.
Kingdom Hearts. Where is my heart?
Yeah, your heart's gone, dude. That's what happened. You're done. Sora feels a bit sad.
I don't get it. Why's everybody been calling me Roxas?
It's like, why is everybody calling me Roxas, man? It's like, Sora, Roxas is your nobody. It's like, my nobody? What are you talking about?
I never turned into a
I was never turned into a Heartless. Oh, yeah. Oh, except for that one time that I was. That was a major plot point in the Kingdom Hearts 1 series. Oh shit, yeah, that happened. Oh boy. So I contributed to much more of this than I thought I did.
After that, I fought him because I thought it would help you wake
That's
up.
not great.
I lost. Next time.
Oh man, Riku went up against him and lost. My nobody must have been pretty strong. Let's see how that looks. Here we go, we got Riku. Coming over, blindfolded man. Jackie Chan. He defeated Roxas. Laid him down. I was like, you know what, Roxas? You're done. Let's see what that does for you, buddy. And then he gets up. He's ready to go. It's like, man, I'm gonna fight you. Riku tries to deflect it with some of his dark magic, but Roxas is having none of it.
Why don't you quit?
It's like, why don't you just give up, man?
Come on, Sora.
Riku tries to play a little bit here to Sora's heart, because they share the same heart, Roxas and Sora,
Which one of us is winning?
and Roxas replies in the same way that Sora would.
So it's true. We really are.
He's struck back a little bit by that.
Was right after all.
It's like, I knew he was right.
I am me.
And Roxas has a really hard time dealing with that. He is a nobody of somebody. He really wants to be his own person. That's all he wants to do. I feel bad for him when we play other Let's Plays. You'll understand why I feel bad for him, because there's a lot of this. Of Roxas just wanting to be his own person, but
My heart. The dark power that I've been.
then Riku finally decides to give in to the darkness that's inside his heart in order to defeat Roxas, in the sense of
Me forever.
freeing Sora here, because Sora is trapped up in the GBA games, which we'll see in the next Let's Play when we come back to Kingdom Hearts. Jesus. That's gonna take a bit, but Roxas turns into the full. He turns into his darkness, or Riku does, and possesses Ansem once again in order to end this battle. Because Ansem clearly has more power than Riku does, and he's just looking to utilize that power just to get one over on the enemy. So I can't blame him, because he did eventually win. But it has to be a tragedy for Riku as well, because that's a lot of moving parts for something to go down like that. Like it's just above and beyond what you would expect.
Ridiculous. If he had met Sora, things might have been different.
But there we go. We have defeated Roxas, and this is how we put him in the Twilight Data Town.
Maybe I didn't mean to fight him after all. I left the organization because
And how we get the whole situation that we're into now, and Sora's just now kind of
I wish I could.
realizing that all this stuff happened. It's like, look into your heart, man. They'll be good. Everything will be good, man. They're good.
All right, let's go.
It's like, everybody else, come on out. Let's do a stroll. There we go. We get a secret Ansem report. I'm floating around this area looking for some buried treasure, but I don't find any. So let's go on and do what we need to do next. Of course, some of this text here is important between these guys. You can read it if you want to. To me, it's not really important, but I've also played through the game a couple dozen times, so I'll leave it up to you. There we go, we beat them. I'm gonna save here real quick. So we saved. Okay, now we're going on to the next stage of the organizational hodgepodge that's going on. Ansem, what's going on, man? It's like, I'm a fool. Yeah, you can't replicate hearts, my man. It's not gonna turn out well for you. There's gonna be a lot going on. A lot of devastation from trying to replicate hearts and bring them into a data world. Ansem, you are not gonna do well in this situation. Don't even attempt to do that. It's gonna turn out bad in every regard that it possibly could turn out bad. It's gonna not just be bad, it's gonna be horrific. And what you're gonna do in order to move past it, I have no fucking idea, man. But you continue to do you. Just try and move past it, brother. But I have a feeling all this is about to backfire in your face. So let's see how that goes. He's just sort of giving his repentance speech to all the characters that he did wrong in this Let's Play series. But, I mean, let's be honest. He's done a ton wrong. And none of it has turned out well. And, I mean, it's kind of up to our heroes to do the right versus what he's done. Soda pop. But, yeah. He's kind of messed this whole thing up, and it's entirely all his fault. If I'm gonna be brutally honest, I really want to give him a good ending here, especially because now that Xehanort, aka Xemnas, aka Ansem Seeker of Darkness, comes in and antagonizes him and is like, well, you know what? I was learning under you, and I could have done much better if I had a better master, but it's kind of all bullshit once we get into later games where Xehanort kind of knew what was going to happen. So, yeah, I don't know. It's one of those situations where, like, I know enough about the lore that it's like, well, why does this given element change the whole story? And it's simply because they weren't planning towards the end, but these are some really good moments of KH2. If I gotta be brutally honest, when I first saw this, I was like, this is the perfect follow-up to Kingdom Hearts 1. It makes sense, and in the context of what you've seen so far, it does. When we go into some of the spin-off games, not really, but it does make sense to why all these characters would go down these specific avenues of trying to achieve what they're trying to achieve. Like, I fully get it. Here we go. We got Xemnas just spitting out Xemnas stuff at this point, honestly. And Ansem the Wise is kind of admitting his defeat here at this point, which is, it's alright. I'll take it.
We may profess to know the heart.
But everything is about to blow into oblivion. Oblivion. That is what Ansem is kind of shouting out here. These two are having a fight over who was right, who was wrong, and both of them were wrong. It's sort of the short story. Both of them should have been a little bit more on top of their game, and none of this would have happened. But it led us to this point, and of course, everybody gets blown away. Riku protects us because he understands Ansem the Wise / Diz from the earlier episodes more than anybody else. That creates like a vortex, heartless portal sort of thing. That's alright. We get it. And we get a beam of light coming into the reality here, just blowing everybody back. And that is, of course, disturbing everything going on here. Oh, look at that. Something you remember. Fucking in September. Yeah, it's all the heartless, all the nobodies, they're having fun. The heartless are getting their hearts back. The nobodies are getting some hearts so they can reclaim themselves and become people. Obviously, pretty jazzy for them involved. They're having a good old time. And without any explanation here, because I've given you pretty much what they're laying out on the screen, I realize myself giving the subtitles is not as good as the actual game here, but Riku has turned back into Riku. For what reason? I don't know. He needed to make this game look cool as shit in the final episode. That's about it. I guess. Yeah, he said anything could happen. Not the completely dimensional change of a person. That kind of lays outside of what could happen. Yeah, just as a fair guess. It's not like an absolute, but I don't think that's what he was expecting when he said anything could happen. Like, that kind of feels like a stretch of anything could happen. Like Riku could turn back into Riku. That, yeah, that's a lot. I feel that's a stretch of the lore there, but we're gonna ignore it. We're just gonna go with him. I'm gonna say the machine turned Riku back into Riku. He just had to rip the blindfold off because he couldn't see the darkness anymore, and let's continue with the story, I guess. Everybody gave the heads up of approval there. So let's do it. Mine as well. Right. Sora just said right there. That's all I'm getting. Kingdom Hearts is in serious danger. The Heartless are invading. They look like Napoleon soldiers here. Way back in the day. Just willing to overtake everything that's coming on there. Now, in this little bit, we do get a section here where we can actually battle with Riku and replace him as a story member, either Donald or Goofy. I cut all of this out. Outside of fanfare, it really does nothing. I think everybody performs the same. Riku is going to be cool in the final battles, but that's about it. It's the same old, same old. So we go up here, we defeat all the Heartless on the way up to this ramp. You can see I unlocked this. We had to defeat a whole shitload of people, but there's not, outside of defeating, like, Instead of creating a whole video for defeating a shitload of people, there's nothing eventful here to put into the Let's Play.
Perhaps you would rather fight them yourself.
But Maleficent and Pete come here and create a whole plot line where they want to rule the castle, but Pete doesn't want to deal with all the extra nonsense that's involved in doing so. And there's a little moment here between Mickey and Pete where they're kind of interconnecting their individuals and their stories in order to sort of prolong what's going on here. But Pete decides to go back with the dark forces. It's alright. I understand Pete. Riku did it for the longest time too. It's okay, your heart's made up, man. You do what you gotta do. And we side with Mickey and we're like, alright, that's cool. Let's go, Mickey. You guys deal with that and we'll deal with the rest of the world. So we head up here up till the end of the castle. And Xemnas, well, let me tell you something. He is devastated that Kingdom Hearts has fallen. And he wants to repair it ever so badly. He is willing to give not only all his power, but his eternal soul into Kingdom Hearts here. He is willing to repair under any circumstance. We're like, you won't win. There's nothing you can do, man. But he doesn't listen to any of this. Of course. Why would he? He just wants us to be the end all be all. And I kind of agree with them. From what I've seen, this group is good, but to defeat the end all be all, I don't know. They're on the shakier side. Xemnas might as well take the risk. That would be my personal opinion. Like, why not? I do hate that, like, Xemnas is so overly dark compared to Ansem. Like, Ansem was like, I'm willing to seek darkness, and then when he was proved wrong, he was like, oh man! Whereas Xemnas is like, hold on. I got 5 more stages for you to go through. Like, it seems like a bit much. So we'll go through it. We'll see what we have to do. Here we go. After battle Xemnas. Xemnas ends up taking everybody out of the trance except for Sora. And he's going to battle us in the way that's intended to battle us. Up on the tower. So I try to reflect out of that right out the gate, but he puts us in a spell where we're going to take damage until we go up to the tower and actually deflect him. This is really easy to get around. So he's going to have 3 stages here. I forget what they're all named, but this is the one time in the reflect stage where there's actual multiple stages where if you hit it later than you're supposed to hit it, you'll actually do a ton more damage than you're actually supposed to do. So it turns out to be much easier than you would expect it to be. And yeah, Xemnas is actually a pushover. Who would expect that? Xemnas is not that much of a hard boss in this episode. He's actually pretty damn easy to deal with, but With that being said here, ladies and gentlemen, if you like this episode, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I know it looks like Xemnas is doing a ton of damage to ourselves, but we are dealing with him, I mean, quite easily, if I'm going to be brutally honest. But if you like this episode, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I do promise I repost to all comments that are posted out there, and I try to do my best for all the rest of the likes and whatnot that I can do. I hope you all had a snazzy week here. I know we are switching this Let's Play over here from Monday, Wednesday, Friday to just Monday, Wednesday, but this episode is coming out here on Wednesday, and then we will be the finale will be coming out on Monday for the series. So a lot of good, exciting stuff coming out here. We're defeating Xemnas for the first time, and then of course in the next episode there's going to be a ton of stuff going on. So if you like this episode, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Hope you all had a snazzy start to your week, and I hope to see you all here on the next episode next week. Yeah, it's Xemnas he's pretty tough, but not overly tough in this situation. As you can see, we just beat him there, but yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Of course, in the next episode we'll be defeating this game and taking over Xemnas once and for all, but till then, guess what? Peace out, Girl Scout.
Sora, where are you?
Sora, answer me!
You're okay.
Where's Xemnas?
Hear me, Kingdom Hearts. It seems we must begin anew. But know this. I will give to you as many hearts as it takes. Mark my words. You can no more be complete without me than I without you. Heed me, Kingdom Hearts. Lend me your power so that we may be complete. The power to erase the fools that hinder us.
Xemnas, no!
Hearts quivering with hatred.
Xemnas, don't!
Hearts burning with rage.
You never win!
Hearts scarred by envy. That fool Ansem said the heart's true nature was beyond his understanding. But it's not beyond mine. Hearts are the source of all power.
Xemnas, you can't hide from us!
We're not gonna let him get away now.
Look at that!
What's going on?
Kingdom Hearts.
Let's go. Xemnas must be inside.
The worlds gave us this doorway. They want us to be the guardians of their destiny.
Once we go through, there's no turning back. It's victory or oblivion. So, Sora, are you ready?